Hello, hello. Hope you guys can hear me okay. This is Mr. Bascom. How's it going? I have my camera in a different place, so I'm wondering, like right now it looks like I'm looking over my camera. I don't know if I should fix that. You'll let me know, won't you? Anyway, hope you're doing okay. I'm planning something special for my YouTube channel. I'm hoping to kind of create a show slash podcast, and I don't know, just throwing it out there to see if anyone. I want to get some insight into how I should form it. So if you're here, say hello. It usually takes me a few minutes to get in here. Hello, Alexandra. All right, let's see who else is coming. Michael, hello. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Parisa. So I have a combination of last year. I have 7th, 8th, and 9th graders here so far. Let's see. I got 7 people in here. I'm looking over the camera, aren't I? I am. Maybe I should move the camera. How about if I do this? No, because then you can see my room is kind of messy. Lauren, hello. Hello, Lauren. So yeah, one of the things that I'm thinking about doing that it's kind of a cool story. A couple weeks ago, Mr. Galasso interviewed me for this sports-oriented, I guess, interview that he does for his channel. And he just wanted to get people's history about in sports and how it inspired them and kind of use it to kind of motivate his current students, you know, to kind of keep participating. And I had a lot of fun doing it, and it was really cool. And it's something that I had been thinking about already. And I had the idea of kind of, instead of interviewing other teachers, which has been done, but what I haven't seen done as much is seeing teachers interview students. So I kind of started putting together this list of questions. And I'd want to interview students that were, you know, almost done with high school or beyond, you know, just to kind of get a feel for what's the experience like being a student, you know, get that student perspective when you're there, the student perspective a few years after, and, you know, kind of connected to you guys. And it would be an interview. It wouldn't be a live stream. It's something that I would do together. We were supposed to do the first one today, but I don't know how it is in the Bronx, but right now it's been raining up here. And my friend Angel, who's also a former student of mine, he is going to help me with this. I was supposed to interview him today, but he kind of lost his internet signal and things. So we'll probably do that first interview tomorrow. But it is something I'm thinking about. I kind of put it out on Facebook. I have a Facebook page for former students of mine. It's called Alumni of Mr. Bascom's Class. And right now I have like 560 students in there. So it's a lot. So from students from 27 years ago till students that just graduated last year. I don't put current students on that I'm still teaching. It's for students that were in my class. So I threw out the idea to them a couple weeks ago, and I heard back from a lot of kids. And they're not even kids. They're adults now, almost all of them, you know. And so it's something I think we're going to do, you know. Well, since you're just in 9th grade, to be honest, you're too young yet. It's something I want to do with people that have been through the education experience, at least are done with high school or even beyond. So like my friend Angel, actually Angel was in the first class I ever taught. So when I taught him, he was in 5th grade way back in 1995. You know, I'd been subbing for a year, and then I taught his class. And yeah, so it was a lot of fun teaching that first year. And I really connected with him in that class. Like, I'm still friends with Angel's now my friend. I went from being Mr. Bascom to him to Coach Kurt, because I coached him in football. And now he's 37 years old and really running a very successful business. And now I'm just Kurt to him, you know. Yeah, naturally it would be great, you know. So, you know, over the years, I've kept contact with a lot of my former students, in part because I guess they like my class, you know. It's one of the things I'm struggling with now. So I'm kind of looking at the comments. I see a lot of people here. One of the challenges this past year plus being, you know, in quarantine and dealing with the pandemic and having so many students remote is I don't know if I'm connecting the same way. You know, I kind of had some issues even today where a lot of the 8th graders currently are in quarantine because they were exposed to someone who tested positive for COVID. So we had literally no 8th graders today, you know. And hey, Raina, but so I'm talking to students one-on-one in conferences about their exit projects, and with the older students here, you know how serious I take that. And I just found that some students kind of felt it's hard for me to connect with people when I don't see them back. Even like this right now, like I love seeing your comments. That's awesome, but it's sort of like we're missing that connection, and like a lot of my seventh graders, I've literally never seen them before. Like we're coming up, it's May now, it's May 3rd, and I've literally never seen some of my seventh graders. And for my eighth graders, I had them for 7 months last year, 6.5 months last year. But I haven't seen some of them in a year, you know, and that makes it hard, And then, like, so in talking about exit projects today, I felt that some students were sort of like disconnected, like irritated with me for asking, um, you know, feel like I'm giving too much work. And it's kind of, from my perspective, I really don't feel that I am. I feel like, if anything, I'm moving slower than I ever have before at the middle school level. So it's kind of this weird, frustrating spot I'm at right now, where I think some of my students, from being home for an extended period of time, aren't connecting with me the way that maybe students have in the past, you know, like, you know, well, I don't think which Noah is that? Is that Noah Cabrera? Uh, I personally feel that 5 pages is a joke. Like, that's easy for the high schoolers that are here. They would tell you honestly that 5 pages is nothing compared to the work they're doing as they go further into high school. I think I'm seeing some of the people saying that, and I'll be honest. I think if I said 2 pages, people would complain, and I think that's part of the connection, or the lack of connection, I'm having with these current students, because they haven't been there, because a lot of the students don't feel the connection to the work, to me. They think that it's, oh my gosh, this is so much, or, oh, 5 pages is so much. It really isn't. When you do 5 double spaced pages, I give you guys probably a couple worksheets a week, and each one's probably a page and a half, and that's 1.3 spacing. That's what I use for the worksheets. If I double spaced that, I do 5 pages a week. You know, um, I don't think it's a lot. I do think, hey, Jamie, I do think that, yeah, you're used to 2 pages, and that's why this is harder. But it's also where you've had months, and this is kind of my frustration a little bit. It's kind of why I decided to do a live stream today. Um, I just kind of felt like a little certain disconnect with a lot of my eighth graders, and that's rare for me. I usually don't feel that this late in the year. Usually, this is where we're coming together, because students realize, oh, we're going to be gone in 7 weeks, and this is where they kind of usually come back to, like, wow, I'm starting to get those vibes that I'm going to miss this class and miss VNA and wherever I've worked in the past, and I'm not feeling that right now, and I was a little worried before, you know. Thank you, Essence. But again, like, I appreciate you saying things like that, but I do feel like, I don't know, just the current group of students that I have, both in seventh and eighth grade, and because we're not together, the students that are in, I've started to rebuild that connection a little bit. I hope. Um, but for a lot of students that are home, or have been home for the majority of the time, it's, for me, like, I take so seriously what we do, that when students aren't doing their part, when they're not turning in work, when they're not trying on a consistent basis to get things done and done well, it bothers me, and I try not to get mad or frustrated, but I have this mean face anyway. Like, I have the face that, like, young kids will come up to me and go, "What's wrong?" Like, I look, I'm in a bad mood. I'm not in a bad mood. I'm in a good mood 99% of the time. But lately, you know, it's just sort of like, oh, I hope the kids know where I'm coming from. And I don't know that. I used to feel like they got it, you know. Um, the last full-time class we had was a class of 2019. And those students, I felt that strong connection with. And last year's class, we didn't have a graduation. It was hard, but even still, because I had you most of the year, I see a lot of you here, whether it's Essence or Lauren or other students from last year. But this year's students, sometimes I feel like there's the quickness to complain, or the quickness to be like, oh, I can't wait to get out, without really expressing, an appreciation for not just me, but teachers in general, you know. Um, And that's something that's something that I'm looking forward to this interview process. We're calling it a show. Maybe it'll turn it into a podcast, you know. But the idea of kind of talking to students about their thoughts, especially as you look back, when you're going through things right now, and this is for your own life as well, when you're going through something, it feels like everything. It feels like the weight of the world is on you as you're going through it. But when you step away from it a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later, it's not as difficult as you think it is. Hey, Victoria. Hey, Justin. Hey, Summer. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Miss Gilligan in person since oh my gosh, since like October. She's having a difficult time. She's working remotely because her family's going through some hard times. And, but she's had, everything is a different dynamic. And today was really weird. Hey, Anastasia. Hey, Reham. Today was so weird being in school and there was no eighth graders. One student showed up by accident and we actually had to send that person home. But, because you're physically not there, literally not there, figuratively, there's also a disconnect too for some students. And I just kind of want my current crop of students, whether in eighth grade or seventh grade, to just sort of understand where me and the teachers are coming from. Sometimes it's sort of like, oh, these teachers, and it is refreshing to hear from former students that kind of, now that they stepped away from it, now they get it. Like I ran into Xavier Vargas today and we had a good 10-minute conversation, him on his skateboard and just talking about, life since VNA and what he's been learning since VNA. And, he wasn't the ideal perfect student when he was there, but 3 years later, he definitely is missing things, and I don't want you guys to only miss us when you're gone. I feel like for my current eighth graders, and I see Eric in here, and I see, who else do I see here? I see Noah Cabrera's in here, Sommer's in here. I saw, who else? I saw Sammer in here. Parisa's always here. Jordan's here. Raina's here. I want you guys to kind of appreciate what we're doing now. And it's kind of funny where you guys are here right now and saying things, but it's Teacher Appreciation Week. I want you guys to kind of reach out to those people that are teaching you now and let us know that we're appreciated, because sometimes we need that too. And today was one of those days where it was like, oh, there's nobody here. I miss you guys. And I got the vibe from some students like, oh, this guy with all his work. Can't I just do it the way I want to do it when I want to do it? Well, Essence, I'm again, because we had that connection, because you'd been in the school for so long and I had taught your sister, that's helpful. But I want the current students that are in here now, like some of those seventh graders, those eighth graders, shout out the seventh graders that are here, whether it's Alexandra or Reham, keep that in mind. Me and your teachers, we're working really hard, and it's not always perfect, and it's not always the way you want it. And sometimes you feel like we're being a drag. But I really feel like if you guys appreciate what we're giving you and look into the knowledge and keep the knowledge in your head, even once you're done with that day's class, it's going to take you someplace. Like I saw earlier that Lauren, thank you, Lauren, she had mentioned that what we did last year helped her this year. And that's kind of the whole point of all of this, to kind of get you, having a lifelong knowledge, So, well, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Jordan. But like today was one of those days where I felt like, oh, like they look at me like the grump. I don't want to be that way. I got the grumpy face, and I don't take students, acting disrespectful. You guys know that, but I never want it to be where like, oh, this guy, I can't wait to get away from it. Or even if you feel that now, I hope when you look back later, you're like, there's a lot more positive memories than negative. And not just of me personally, but of the things that I'm teaching you about American history. That to me is more important. I'll be honest, when I finished middle school, I didn't go back to visit. I didn't feel like those teachers liked me. And most of what they gave me wasn't really memorable to me. So for me to teach you, I try to teach not like that. Well, thank you, Essence. That means And thank you, Eric. There's a lot of people saying a lot of nice things, but it's sort of like, try to remember that when you feel like you're being pushed. And when you see your classmates grumble, I'm not saying argue with them, telling them to be quiet. I'm not telling you to do that, but I just want more of those people to kind of, more of my current students to appreciate what we're doing and do your work. Like, it's funny. I have people that just don't turn in work, and it's like, you're home. We're making this as easy as you can. We're moving slow. Like, for me, I'm frustrated because I feel like I could go so much faster, But for the older students, the alumni of VNA and other schools, just so you know, we spend 1 day a week in class where we work on exit projects. We never did that, So let's see. I mean, since you were a kid, let's see, Charlotte, it's annoying when you're in 8th grade and you don't want to leave your school. Yeah, but I also feel like you guys need to move on. Like, I get on some level for the 8th graders, they start to kind of move on. You're supposed to. That's kind of a maturation process. It's like, at some point, all of you are going to grow older, and you may love your families. I hope you do, that you live with. But at some point, you're going to get older, and you're going to want to move on with your life. Yeah, Lauren, I agree. Lauren says that people taking advantage of being at home. I think so too, but some people do have legitimate, real challenges at home. I don't. Let's see. No, I'm trying to read the comments while I'm talking to you, and I'm just trying to. Some of them don't make sense because there's space in between, and I'm not trying to talk and read at the same time. But anyhow, for the 8th graders, current 8th graders that are here, you have a week to finish your essay. And I saw some really great things from some students today, and then I saw some not great things from some students today. I just want it done, and not for me. I know your stuff backwards and forwards. I write all the worksheets. I create all the PowerPoints. I came up with that list. I don't use textbooks. I don't really like using outside sources. So I know what you have there, and I know you're capable of doing it, and I know it's going to help you in high school and beyond. And all the older students that are here are telling you that, whether it's Lauren or Essence, or I saw Isabella here before, it's going to help, So I hope you get this exit project essay done. And for my 7th graders, yeah, it's going to get harder next year. 8th grade's harder than 7th grade, so stay on top of things. When you wait and you wait and you wait, then we get it. No, Samra, no. Like, this is kind of what I'm saying. Like, this is the first year where I'm spending school time for you to work on this project. And a lot of it, it's 20% of the week, every Monday for months. And now you want me, I'm not going to give more time because we're still coming up on we're in the Great Depression unit. We're supposed to be finishing Cold War right now. Do you know how behind we are? And on the stuff that I know you're going to need for high school. So no, I need, it absolutely can be more than 5 pages, but no, I do not want to spend any more school time on you working on the exit project. You have to make that time for yourself. Like, a lot of you are here right now, and I wonder, what were you doing? Like, it's 7:30. You probably had dinner. You've been home. All the 8th graders and 7th graders, you've been home all day. So you didn't have to walk home from school. Maybe the 7th graders, some of them had to walk home. But you've been home all day. The last class ended at 1:53 today. So that's 6 hours ago, almost 6 hours ago. So I wonder what some people were doing, during that time, and every day, Jordan, I believe you, but that's Jordan. That's also why you have like a 99 plus average, because you put in that time. My son, he just made the principals list again. He had a 98.86 overall average. He's made the principals list every marking period since he's been in middle school, and he's in his last marking period of 8th grade now. So he puts in that time. But I have a feeling there's a lot of people that aren't putting in that time, and then go, oh my gosh, there's no time, I'm stressed. So the kind of big point I want you walking away from today is maximizing your time and appreciating what we're giving you, even though it seems hard, even times when it seems challenging. Well, again, for those people that have legitimate, religious ceremonies or practices, absolutely, that takes precedent over a homework assignment. That's more important. That's the stuff that forms the foundation of your life, of your that guides you hopefully forever. Whether you're whatever faith you might be. But there's a whole lot of people out there that are not, practicing their, something for their religion or for their family today. They're just kind of chilling, playing a video game, checking out TikTok videos, sleeping, eating snacks and snacks and snacks. So yeah, Lauren says procrastinating would definitely break you, especially for exit projects. Yeah. And, who is, oh, that's Nastasia. Well, Nastasia, you had one homework assignment last week. One. War of 1812. That was it. And we worked on it in class for my class. You had an essay, you had the project, the Lewis and Clark project that was due last Tuesday. So since then, you've had one homework assignment. So sometimes when students say all the work, it's like, what? All the work? I know a lot of your teachers don't give a lot of homework every day, or they'll give like reading where you have to keep up with your steps. That's not overwhelming unless you're not doing it and then you have to do it at the end. So please, as I start to tie this up and close this out, because I want to go upstairs and sit with my family for a little while, I want you guys thinking about how are you using your time? Are you making the most of your time when you're working on something? Like me, if you spend 60 minutes a night committed to just getting work done for school, whether it's science or math or ELA or social studies, whatever it might be, if you spend at least 60 minutes a night in middle school, then you should not have a problem getting anything done. And that's a lot of time. Sometimes you don't even need that much time. In high school, once you're back, it's going to be 2 hours a night. But right now, if you can find 60 minutes a night, most nights, then you don't have anything to do. 60 minutes is nothing. You get home, you're home by 2 o'clock, whether you're walking home or you're already remote. 60 minutes is nothing. I really want people to take that more seriously instead of waiting and then feeling stressed out and then taking it out on me or other teachers saying, oh, there's all this work. That's kind of really my thought today. Yeah, Reham, you really do. You work very hard, but there are some students that are not doing that. And for me, it's just, it hurts a little, Yeah, so I like the advice that some of you are giving to the younger students. Essence says that ELA don't lie on reading logs. Miss Santana is very generous, so don't take advantage of her, Miss Skorka. Lauren's doing homework right now. Yeah, you can see once you get to high school, it gets a lot more. Like, I bet you think my work, looking back, was pretty easy compared to what some of you are doing now or did in high school. Isabella, are you still here? Really? I hope she is. But because she could tell you even a little bit more. She just turned 21. So anyhow, keep working. And thank you. Like for my former students that are here saying things, it really means a lot to me. Essence, you said a lot today. Lauren, you said a lot today. But for those current students that I have right now, I know it seems tough, but take a word of advice from people that were just doing what you were doing a year ago or a few years ago. This is going to help you later. All right. And make sure you show some appreciation to your teachers. So yeah, Lauren, definitely that's the word easy compared. Good. But hopefully the work that you did in my class stuck in your head. That's really always my whole goal. If it's stuck in your head, then I did it right. All right, people. Jeff, good to see you show up late. That's kind of what you do sometimes. Anyway, hey, real fast. I had my camera in a different spot. Does it work? Does it look better, worse, the same? I'm curious. Anyone going to tell me that before I go? No one's going to tell me. Right now, I'm looking. It looks okay. If I look to the side, it's all right. Well, thank you, Lauren. All right, people. I'm going to end this. Subscribe. Please get your friends to subscribe. I have 300. I think I saw it was up to 327 followers. I really want to get to at least 500. And then once we kick off this show that I'm talking about, this interview show, hopefully those numbers go even higher and higher. That's really cool. I really want to keep finding ways to connect with you guys. All right, guys. Have a good night. Subscribe. All right, everyone. Good night. Yep. What's up? I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Come here. Good boy.
Hi.
That's Dallas walking through the
It's
room.
not printing right.
Nothing printed.
Yo.
Wow, Jeremiah, what's up, man? Yeah, I heard you sing. I heard a clip of you last year. That's cool. Say hi.
Hi.
All right. Got him. All right. Sheesh. All right. We're out. Now we're done.